From the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Greetings. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Shawn. Today we're resuming our study, the book of Daniel, the sovereignty of God. And this is a short chapter. Chapter 10 is what we're ready for. It's my favorite of all the chapters in the book of Daniel. So many things are brought to light. So many of these things are missed by so many who read. There's only 21 verses here. But we're getting a lesson in several things. We're getting a lesson in spiritual warfare. Both what's happening in the heavenly and what's happening here. How Daniel's participating in the spiritual warfare. How he responds. All of these things are magnificent. It's also the best description of an encounter with an angel you'll ever see. You have Gabriel, who's interacted with Daniel several times, but the form of this angel is pretty staggering and very detailed. We have Daniel's fast. Many know about this. You Google Daniel's fast and you get this kind of direction for a 3-week fast. Daniel's very clear about how he fasted and why and the result. It's a beautiful chapter. It won't take us long to get through it, though. So, without further delay, we got 21 verses here, but open up your hearts and listen closely. I opened with Ephesians, the armor of God, where Paul makes it clear that, look, on the surface it looks like we're wrestling against other men, but that's not really what's going on. There's principalities and powers and rulers of the darkness of this age. Where are they? Against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. There's a bigger spiritual thing going on. There's darkness in areas of the world that rule over nations. There's all kinds of things going on behind the scenes. We're going to see that very clearly in this chapter. Let's begin. Chapter 10, the book of Daniel. Verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of the Persians, a word was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belshazzar. The word was true, and great power and understanding were given to him in the vision. So, please note, Daniel had the vision, right? That's what we read about last week. He's deeply troubled by this. So how is a godly person to respond to such a thing? He's deeply troubled. He doesn't fully understand it. Verse 2. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no desirable food. No meat or wine entered my mouth, nor did I anoint myself until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. So please note, the Daniel fast, people are always curious, what is it? No meat, no wine, nothing desirable. That's how he fasted. He didn't just not eat at all, or not drink anything at all. He ate no desirable food, no pleasurable food. Okay? Bland, boring stuff. no wine, of course, no alcohol. And he did not, no meat, and he did not anoint himself with oil. He's grieving, fasting before the Lord, praying, hoping to hear a word. Verse 4. Then on the 24th day of the first month, I was beside the great river, that is the Tigris, and I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man clothed in fine linen, and his waist was girded with gold of Uphaz. His body was like beryl, and his face was like the appearance of lightning. His eyes were like lamps of fire, his arms and legs like the appearance of shining brass. The sound of his words were like the voice of a multitude. So please note, what a description. Try to imagine this in your mind. He's clothed in white linen. His face was like the appearance of lightning. You wouldn't be able to look upon his face because it's so bright, is what he's describing here. His eyes were like lamps of fire. He was like the appearance of shining brass on his legs. And when he spoke, it sounded like a multitude. Think of like a stadium speaking the same thing. A stadium of people speaking in unison. This is what he's describing. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me did not see the vision, but a great astonishment fell upon them, and they fled in fear. So I was left alone and saw this great vision, but no strength remained in me, for my splendor was turned into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the sound of his words, and when I heard them I was deeply troubled, with my face on the ground. So please note, when you encounter something like this, you are on your face as though dead. This is very common. John does the same thing when he says this vision and revelation. Isaiah, same thing, collapses, woe is me. This is what happens when you encounter the heavenly. Suddenly, verse 10, a hand touched me and raised me up on my knees. He said to me, O Daniel, a man of desires, understanding the words I speak to you, and stand upright, for now I have been sent to you. So when he spoke these words to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day you set your heart to understand and afflict yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I came because of your words. So please note, the angel tells Daniel, from the first day that you made the decision to humble yourself before God and fast and mourn, I was dispatched to come to you with these words. But here's the thing, it's been 3 weeks. Why is it taking him so long? So there's a couple things to note. One, why is it taking so long? We'll get that answer here in the next verse. The second thing is to note that God doesn't necessarily just sit back and go, well, we'll see how long this person does this. It says here, from the moment that Daniel set his heart to be humbled, to fast, to mourn, to grieve, to pray, that God sent the answer to Daniel. It's sometimes we think that it's about the time frame. Now, that may take several weeks to hear the response. We may have to humble ourselves for longer than we would like. Why is that? Let's look. So he says, let me read this. Let me just start again with verse 12. Then he said to me, do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and afflict yourself before your God, your words we heard, and I came because of your words. But the prince of the Persian kingdom withstood me 21 days. What? Let's keep going. But the prince of the Persian kingdom withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I was left there with the ruler of the Persian kingdom. So please note. The angel says, I was dispatched to you the day you humbled yourself, but I was withstood 21 days by this darkness, known as the prince of the Persian kingdom. Remember what Paul says against the powers and rulers of the darkness of this age, spiritual hosts and wickedness in heavenly places. So this angel was withstood by a dark force, some other being, until the angel Michael had to come help this particular angel, so then he was free to actually get the message to Daniel. There is wickedness in spiritual places intercepting, making war with those who are dispatched from heaven. This is astonishing revelation. This is incredible to think, to imagine. You think that your prayers and your fasting are causing nothing. It's causing spiritual war. This is very important and very serious. I think we think that when we get on our knees, it's pointless, right? Well, half the time my prayers don't make it past the ceiling. God doesn't hear me. Nothing's happening. Oh, something is happening. Things are going on behind the scenes. It matters. It makes a difference. Lord, help us to see this clearly. I'm having this thought about how Elijah and Elisha, or no, it's Elisha and his protege. Can't remember. It's in the book of Kings, I believe. And this army is coming upon them. And the servant of Elisha is like, what are we going to do? We're in big trouble. And he's like, Lord, open his eyes. And the Lord opens up the servant's eyes, and he sees this band of angels all around. It's like when the blinders are removed, you see that there is something going on. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's continue. Verse 14, now I have come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the last days. For the vision is for days yet to come. And when he had spoken these words to me, I turned my face toward the ground and was deeply troubled. Again, suddenly, one having likeness of the Son of Man touched my lips, and I opened my mouth and spoke. And he said to the one standing before me, My Lord, because of your vision, my insides churned within me, and I have no strength. For how can your servant, my Lord, speak with my Lord of this? As for me, no strength now remains in me, nor is any breath left in me. Then again the one, like the appearance of a man, touched me and strengthened me, and he said to me, O man of desires, peace be to you. Be courageous and strong. So when he spoke with me, I was strengthened, and he said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? But now I will return to the war against the ruler of the Persians, and I will go forth, and the rulers of the Greeks will come. But I will tell you what is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is no one loyal to me concerning this except Michael, your prince. And that is how chapter 10 ends. You really want to study spiritual warfare, you go through chapter 10 of the book of Daniel with a fine-tooth comb. Incredible story. Definitely my favorite story in the book of Daniel. One of my favorite stories in all the Bible. There's so much here for us to ponder on. It's a reminder that maybe we should take our praying and fasting a little more serious. Lord, help us. I've done the Daniel fast one time many, many years ago. And it was difficult. But it was definitely life-changing in a lot of ways. There's something about humbling yourself before God removing all these things and making room to hear His voice. I pray that you've been blessed this morning. Thank you for listening. Thank you for praying for me. You know I need it. We're talking about spiritual warfare. Trust me, I'm in it all the time. I need your prayers. And thank you to those of you who support this mission of truth. Peace and grace be with you all. And until next time, God bless.